Harden, for as gaudy as the numbers might be, he's probably going to get dissected, we'll say, defensively, right?
And maybe a little bit. Max, what have you seen in the last few years that leads you to believe that James Harden
Fredell is like belly laugh.
turn back the clock?
Bruh.
I shoot my shot like a free throw. I want that hell shit free call. 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 I want that hell shit free call.
James Harden deserves his respect in the NBA. What we've just witnessed right now, probably one of the most craziest performances I've ever seen in the playoffs. We saw the 50-point game by Stephen Curry, but I think this one is just even way better with Joel Embiid being out. And James Harden, everyone was looking at him and kind of saying that he's not going to be able to do this. He's not going to be able to carry his team. And he did just that. Man had 45 points. No one on that Celtics team could guard him. If you look at the fouls that James Harden should have been getting, the refs are absolutely trash against James Harden tonight. He had a lot of shots where he could have gotten 3 shots going to the line. The refs are just very weirdly reffing James Harden tonight. I think he could have had 50 points. Like James Harden, I think this entire season has just been completely underrated. He averaged around 20 something points, 11 assists. That's just pretty good. What he had been able to do in the regular season, pretty much anchoring the entire 76ers offense, getting looks to Joel Embiid, Tyrese Maxey. He pretty much is just gotta be the most underrated player in the entire league, because everyone really always says that he's not in his prime anymore. But is he? Because this season he had a lot of moments where he just controlled games and he just didn't look injured anymore. I don't think James Harden would be able to put up this performance last season. And just the 76ers as a whole, they have this season looked locked in. Very, very locked in. There's been a couple of regular season games where the 76ers were going down to the wire. And I think last year would have happened is that the 76ers would have choked those games. And looking on the Boston Celtics side, I don't think the Boston Celtics side is locked in. That's why I have the 76ers winning this series. You saw it with the Hawks series. The Celtics just had a certain look to them where it just seemed like they didn't want it more. It seemed like the Hawks literally wanted it more. And I know the Hawks are not that good of a team, but that just shows you the Hawks are not even a good team. They took it to 6 series with, you know, the Celtics just being lackadaisical on defense and not really caring because they thought this Hawks team was that bad. So I think the 76ers ultimately are going to be winning it in 6 games. And this James Harden performance right here, 45 points, this is going to open a window now that guy Joel Embiid, he's going to have such amazing rest right now. He doesn't even have to play the next game because 1-1 heading back to Philly. If somehow they can go up 2-1, it's going to be a really good series. It's going to be a very, very good series. This thing could go to game 7. I think ultimately the 76ers are going to win though for those couple of reasons. James Harden playing prime time basketball, Tyrese Maxey always amazing in the clutch, Tobias Harris looking locked in, Melton, they got a really good team in Philadelphia, and Joel Embiid MVP of this season. And I think the X factor is not James Harden, the X factor is not Tobias Harris, the X factor is Joel Embiid, because they did this without Joel Embiid. The X factor is 100% Joel Embiid. I think for me, Joel Embiid has never really flipped that switch in the playoffs. Not saying he's a bad playoff performer, but he's never just had those performances where he's scoring like 45 points, controlling games in the playoffs. It's going to be up to Joel Embiid for them to win this series. And with that being said, that's kind of what I think about this game. I think in this game, the 76ers just look way more locked in. We're calm with it. You know, the Celtics, they got some leads, but the 76ers ultimately, the coaching was amazing too. Coaching was amazing. And James Harden carried them to this W. Now, what we could be looking forward to game 2, I think the Celtics are going to look to kind of double team James Harden and more. But I think that's going to fail because Melton, Tobias Harris, Tyrese Maxey, they're going to be putting up shots, and ultimately I think it's going to be like, I think James Harden could score like 25 points for the next game, Tyrese Maxey somewhere around that, and hey, they might get that W too. But I think Joel Embiid is going to come back game 3, Philadelphia, and hopefully he is healthy around that time. But with that being said, what do you guys think about this performance from James Harden? 45 points in this W. It's your boy Josh the Arch, and I'm out.